Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Well, hello there, not productive. I am a new contributor by name of George Pickering, and today we discuss the history of our human fascination with a nice, plump rump. Big booties. A cultural history. Yeah. But before we can even think about going into the history of big booties, we must first understand a little about why it is that men are so fascinated with the largest of rears. Well, our specialists the world over have theorized that there are quite a number of reasons why men are so attracted to larger booties, including that they indicate a large pelvis on the woman so that the head of the gestating fetus will not be crushed. They also indicate that the woman is of reproductive age because they swell up at puberty and shrivel away like calcified raisins when the woman passes 40 years old. You can trust me on that one, I know. Some experts have also theorized that the reason men find the buttocks visually stimulating is because having something that looks nice in that general sort of region makes it more likely that the man will position his body and penis into the rear entry sexual position, in much the same way as the colourful arses of baboons in the animal kingdom. However, I would have to disagree with them on this one particular theory, because after all, we all know that that's not really how it works. Not even for baboons.
I mean, sure, Daddy Baboon's gonna find Mummy Baboon's bright colours attractive for 2 years, maybe 3 if she's lucky, but by that point Mummy Baboon is hardly in her prime, really, is she? And Daddy Baboon starts to lose interest. Then Mummy Baboon starts spending a little more time with her tennis instructor than Daddy Baboon is comfortable with, and Daddy Baboon goes into denial and starts to partake rather too heavily of the old electric soup. Eventually, and I'm talking several years down the line, Mummy Baboon isn't even around anymore, and Baby Baboon has to be taken into care by the government. Baby Baboon only gets to see Daddy Baboon for 20 minutes a month at the place where Daddy Baboon has to wear the orange pyjama, because of that time Daddy Baboon ran down a pedestrian in Vegas.
What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, big booties. Well, I think that's quite enough of the reasons why men love big booties. I think it's about time we get into the history of the rear to fear. Contrary to popular belief these days, the love of large arses is not a recent phenomenon. In fact, we have evidence of it going as far back as 24,000 years before the birth of Christ. Jesus!
Born again!
Yes, 24,000 BC is the date of this statue known as the Venus of Willendorf, which I guess shows what sort of physical attributes they found attractive back in those days, including the large arse. Although, if that's supposed to be what they found attractive back in the days of the caveman, then I guess that starts to explain why natural selection hasn't taken us further now, doesn't it? Victorian Britain was a particular bastion in history of large arse appreciation, with the veteran designer and father of haute couture, Charles Frederick Worth, popularising the bustle in women's fashion. Perhaps not coincidentally, the Victorian period in Britain also saw an explosion in the popularity of female-on-male erotic spanking, with very classy pornographic works such as Lady Bumtickler's Revels becoming extremely widespread and popular during the period. Bumtickler? I don't know whether tickle's necessarily the correct verb to use there so much as lacerate. Even what we would now call twerking of large-arsed women is hardly a recent phenomenon in history. In fact, back in the 1920s, these performances in Paris by the dancer Josephine Baker were so popular that thanks almost exclusively to this style of dancing, she became the most highly paid entertainer in all of Europe. In the 1990s, large arses became popular again due to a number of reasons, not least of which being the popularisation of denim jeans as a legitimate fashion choice for women. In order to emphasise that their products fit well and were tight, designer jean companies started using large-arsed models in the advertising campaigns for their jeans yet again. This fueled the renaissance of the large arse. And there you have it, that is a short cultural history of big booties. I mean, personally, just from a personal standpoint, for me, the most attractive part of the woman is not the buttocks, but in fact the direct centre of the arsehole. And now I'm not talking about the sphincter, about the little stuff around the sides. I mean like the space in between. The vacuum.
Where the laws of physics break down and...
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do be sure to head over to my own channel, links in the description below. Share this video with all your big booty-loving friends. And most importantly, subscribe to Not Productive. My name is George Pickering, and that was another lesson in history, which is from the past. Goodbye. Oh, sex and violence!
Oh, I love you so much!
Oh, Jesus! Oh, Christ! That'll be really exciting with loads of thrills.